There is a secret law that governs all creation, and it has been hidden in plain sight. The universe responds not to what you see, but to what you think. This audiobook will show you how to harness this power. As you listen, you will realize your mind is the blueprint of your future. It starts in your mind. Introduction. In the vast tapestry of existence, a singular truth stands eternal. Your thoughts are the seeds from which your reality blooms. This wisdom, whispered through the corridors of time by mystics and masters, now emerges from the mists of antiquity to guide you toward mastery of your own destiny. The power of visualization, the sacred art of seeing with the inner eye, has remained hidden from those who seek it in the outer world. Yet it dwells within you, a dormant force waiting to be awakened. This force, known to the ancient ones as the divine creative power, transforms the ethereal substance of thought into the solid matter of experience. You stand now at the threshold of understanding that has guided the greatest minds throughout history. Those who shaped empires, moved mountains, and altered the course of humanity's journey first held their visions in the sacred chamber of their minds. They knew, as you shall come to know, that the physical world is but a shadow cast by the light of consciousness. The universe responds not to what your eyes perceive, but to what your mind conceives. Every circumstance in your life, every joy and sorrow, every triumph and challenge, first existed as a thought form in the subtle realms before manifesting in the material world. This is the hidden mechanism behind all creation, the secret law that governs all manifestation. As you turn these pages, you step into a lineage of wisdom keepers who understood that reality is not fixed, but fluid, not solid, but malleable to the touch of focused thought. The knowledge contained within these passages has been guarded through ages, passed from teacher to student in unbroken succession since time immemorial. Now, as you embrace these teachings, you join the ranks of those who have learned to paint upon the canvas of reality with the brushstrokes of visualization. The power to shape your destiny awaits within these pages, not as mere theory, but as living wisdom ready to transform your world. Part 1, Awakening and Foundations. Chapter 1, The Invisible Blueprint. In the ancient scrolls of wisdom, there is told a tale of James, an artist whose brushes had grown silent with the weight of unfulfilled dreams. In his studio, dust gathered on canvases, while he earned his living through mundane work that brought neither joy nor purpose. Yet fate, in its infinite wisdom, had prepared a revelation that would transform his understanding of creation itself. One autumn evening, while clearing his grandmother's attic, James discovered an old leather-bound journal. Within its weathered pages lay sketches he had drawn years before, detailed visions of a life he had once imagined. As he turned each page, his breath caught in his throat. There, rendered in careful strokes, was the very apartment where he now lived, down to the peculiar arch of the windows. Another page revealed the cafe where he took his morning coffee, though when he had drawn it, the building had been but an empty lot. Page after page unveiled prophecies in pencil and ink, each one now manifested in his present life. The revelation struck him like a bolt of lightning. His art had not merely captured his imagination, it had carved the template of his future into the fabric of reality itself. This truth, as ancient as creation itself, echoes through the chambers of existence. All that is visible first existed in the invisible realm of thought. Your mind is not merely a recorder of reality, it is the sacred forge where reality is shaped. Every thought you hold with sustained focus and emotional intensity becomes a mold into which the universal substance flows, taking form in the physical world. Just as a seed contains within it the full pattern of the tree it will become, your thoughts hold the complete blueprint of your future manifestations. This is not mere metaphor, but the very mechanism by which all creation unfolds. Consider the tale of Eleanor, whose story illuminates this principle with crystal clarity. As a young architect, she spent countless hours visualizing a city unlike any other, where gardens spiraled up glass towers and bridges curved like ribbons of light. For decades, she held these images in her mind, refining them in the quiet hours before dawn. 30 years later, she stood atop a skyscraper in Singapore, tears streaming down her face as she beheld her mental blueprints transformed into steel and stone, built by others who had caught the same vision she had held so long ago. These stories mirror your own power of creation. Every achievement, every circumstance in your life began as a thought form in the workshop of your mind. Now embrace this timeless practice. Find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed. Close your eyes and let your mind become the canvas. With the brush of your imagination, paint the future you desire to manifest. See it with such clarity that every detail becomes vivid and alive. Hold this vision steady for 3 minutes, allowing yourself to step into this reality, feeling its presence as if it already exists, for in the realm of spirit it already does. Chapter 2. Seeing Beyond What Is. In the valleys of understanding, there lies a truth so fundamental that many overlook its power. Let me share with you the tale of Nathan, a man whose life was governed by spreadsheets and statistical models until an encounter changed the very lens through which he perceived reality. Nathan was a researcher who believed only in what his instruments could measure. Each morning he would analyze data, draw conclusions, and file away reports that explained the world in neat, numerical rows. Yet his ordered universe was about to be transformed by an unexpected meeting with his former professor, Master Chen. On a rain-swept evening, Nathan found himself in Master Chen's study, surrounded by curious artifacts and ancient scrolls. "You see only what is," the old teacher observed, pouring tea with deliberate grace. "But creation begins with seeing what could be." He guided Nathan to a window overlooking a barren courtyard. "Tell me what you see." "An empty space," Nathan replied promptly. "Concrete weeds, nothing of significance." Master Chen smiled. "Now close your eyes. See not what is, but what might bloom here." As Nathan's eyes remained closed, the teacher's words painted possibilities. A garden of contemplation, a sanctuary of peace, a place where wisdom could take root. When Nathan opened his eyes weeks later, he witnessed workers transforming the courtyard exactly as he had envisioned it in that moment of guided imagination. This was his first glimpse into the power of seeing beyond the visible. The universe responds not to what your eyes perceive, but to what your mind envisions with unwavering clarity. Those who remain trapped in circumstances they wish to change have simply forgotten how to see beyond the present moment. This truth is beautifully illustrated in the story of Clara, a concert pianist who lost her sight in childhood. When asked how she composes her haunting melodies, she explains, "Before my fingers touch the keys, I see the music. Not with my eyes, but with my inner vision. Each note exists first as light and color in my mind, then flows through my hands into sound. The music is complete within me before a single note is played." Clara's gift teaches us that true vision transcends physical sight. She creates not from what is, but from what she knows can be. Her blindness, rather than limiting her, freed her to see more clearly with the eye of spirit. You too possess this power of inner sight. Each night as you prepare for sleep, picture a door in your mind. Let it be ornate or simple, but make it yours. As you open this door, step through into a scene from your desired future. Make it as real as the room you now sit in. Let every detail come alive. The sounds, the scents, the textures. This is not mere fantasy. It is the blueprint from which your tomorrow will be built. Chapter 3: The Law of Mental Projection. The truth you're about to discover has been whispered through the ages, yet its power remains undiminished. Let me share with you a tale that unveils the sacred relationship between your inner and outer worlds. Samuel prided himself on his skepticism. As a veteran journalist, he had built his career on exposing frauds and debunking myths. When he encountered Maya, an elderly mystic living in a modest cottage at the edge of town, he arrived with his usual arsenal of doubt. "Everything you see," she told him, her eyes twinkling with ancient wisdom, "is but a reflection of what you hold within." Samuel scoffed, preparing to write another exposé, yet Maya simply smiled and offered him a challenge. For 30 days, see yourself as prosperous and watch what unfolds. Initially resistant, Samuel decided to conduct his experiment, approaching it with scientific precision. Each morning, he visualized himself as a successful author rather than a struggling journalist. Each evening, he recorded his observations. By the second week, a publisher unexpectedly reached out about his long-forgotten manuscript. By the third week, speaking engagements materialized. What began as an attempt to disprove Maya's teaching became living proof of its truth. The outer world mirrors your inner landscape with unfailing accuracy. Your mind is the projector, casting images onto the screen of physical reality. What you maintain in your consciousness must, by universal law, manifest in your experience. This truth found powerful expression in Lillian's story. Diagnosed with a debilitating condition, she rejected the projected timeline of decline. Instead, she devoted herself to seeing radiant health in her mind's eye. Each day she would picture herself walking in nature, dancing with her grandchildren, living with vibrant energy. Her doctors were mystified as her body began responding to this inner vision. Test results improved, symptoms subsided, and vitality returned. Lillian had discovered what the ancient ones knew. The body follows the blueprint of the mind. Now take up your pen and write a letter from your future self. Date it 1 year from today. Let this self speak of the transformations that unfolded because you chose to see differently. Write of the mountains you climbed, the dreams you realized, the person you became, not as fantasy, but as a vision that your current choices are already bringing into being. This practice does more than outline possibilities. It plants the seeds of your tomorrow in the fertile soil of today. Through your words, you create a bridge between what is and what will be. Like an architect drawing blueprints before laying the foundation, your letter serves as a sacred document mapping the path of your transformation. Each sentence you write becomes a thread in the tapestry of your emerging reality, weaving together intention, belief, and divine possibility into a vision that calls to your highest self. Chapter 4: The Art of Vivid Imagination. When Henry sat before his typewriter each morning, he would close his eyes and allow himself to sink into the world of his story, not merely thinking about his characters, but becoming them, feeling the weight of their clothes, the temperature of their surroundings, the emotions stirring in their hearts. At first, this practice seemed nothing more than a writing technique. Yet as the weeks passed, something extraordinary began to unfold. The universe operates through an ancient principle. What you experience vividly in your mind becomes the template for physical reality. Your thoughts are not mere electrical impulses. They are the seeds of creation itself. When you infuse these thoughts with rich sensory detail and genuine emotion, you accelerate their journey from imagination to manifestation. Think of your mind as a garden where every detailed visualization is a seed planted in fertile soil. The more precise your mental picture, the stronger its pull on reality. When you can smell the flowers in your vision, hear the birds singing in your imagined morning, feel the texture of success beneath your fingers, you have crossed the threshold from wishful thinking to conscious creation. Margaret discovered this truth through her art. Each day, she would enter a meditative state before her canvas, painting landscapes that seemed to flow from some deeper well of knowing. Her brush would move as if guided by an unseen hand, capturing details of places she had never visited. As the years passed, she began to encounter these very scenes in her travels. A hidden cove in Greece, a mountain path in Peru, a garden in Kyoto. The places she had painted with such vivid detail had called themselves into her physical experience. This is not coincidence, but the operation of universal law. Your subconscious mind cannot differentiate between an experience vividly imagined and one physically lived. Every detailed visualization creates neural patterns identical to actual experience. This is why Olympic athletes can improve performance through mental rehearsal alone. The mind accepts the imagined practice as real. Now take 5 minutes to perform this ancient practice. Hold a simple image in your mind. A red apple. See its waxy skin, the play of light on its surface. Feel its cool weight in your palm. Smell its crisp, sweet fragrance. Take a bite in your mind and taste its juicy flesh. The more real you make this exercise, the stronger your visualization muscle becomes. This is not mere daydreaming. It is the conscious wielding of creative force itself. Chapter 5: Belief. In the halls of a prestigious medical center, Doris walked among her patients, carrying not just her medical charts, but a growing sense of wonder. As a physician trained in the strictest scientific methods, she had always dismissed the power of belief as mere superstition. Yet day after day she watched as patients given sugar pills recovered with the same speed and certainty as those receiving actual medication. Their bodies healed, their symptoms vanished, all because they believed they were receiving powerful medicine. You stand now at the threshold of understanding one of existence's most potent truths. Thought alone is not enough. It is belief, absolute, unwavering conviction, that bridges the gap between imagination and reality. When you plant a seed, you do not doubt it will grow. This same certainty must accompany your visualizations. The universe responds not to what you think, but to what you know in the depths of your being. Doubt is the shadow that dims the light of manifestation. Faith, not blind faith, but knowing faith, is the force that moves mountains. Consider Robert, who sat at gaming tables night after night. For years he played with hope, with strategy, with desperate wishes. But everything changed the moment he discovered the secret. One evening, a profound shift occurred within him. He knew, with every fiber of his being, that he would win. Not hoped, not wished, but knew. In that state of absolute certainty, the cards fell exactly as he had envisioned. This was not chance, it was law. The same force that turned placebos into healing medicine and transformed Robert's luck operates in every aspect of your life. When belief becomes unshakable, reality has no choice but to conform. This is not magic, it is the natural order of things hidden in plain sight throughout the ages. Now begin with this timeless practice. Choose one small belief to test. Perhaps that you will find a parking space easily. or that someone will reach out to you today. The size of the belief matters less than the completeness of your conviction. Act as though it is already true. Move through your day carrying this certainty in your heart. Watch as the universe rearranges itself to match your inner knowing. Take note of how events unfold when you maintain this unwavering faith. Each manifestation, no matter how modest, serves as proof of the greater principle at work. As your confidence grows, expand your practice to encompass larger desires. Remember that the same force that manifests a parking space can manifest a promotion, a relationship, or a life-changing opportunity. The universe does not distinguish between small miracles and large ones. It responds only to the purity and depth of your belief. Chapter 6. Emotional Magnetism. In the world of dance where grace meets determination, Lucille faced what many would call an insurmountable obstacle. After a severe injury, medical experts declared her dancing days finished. Yet in the quiet moments of her recovery, she discovered a truth as old as time itself: the power of feeling what has not yet manifested. Each morning, while others saw her bound to a chair, Lucille closed her eyes and felt the smooth wood of the dance floor beneath her feet. She experienced the rush of air as she twirled, the stretch of her muscles as she leaped, the thunderous applause washing over her. She didn't just see these moments, she lived them in her heart, allowing joy to flood her body as though she were already there. You must understand this vital principle. Your emotions are the energy that breathes life into your visions. When you combine clear visualization with genuine feeling, you create a magnetic force that draws your desires toward you with unstoppable momentum. The universe responds not just to what you think, but to what you feel in the depths of your being. Wallace, a fisherman from a small coastal village, understood this truth without ever studying spiritual texts. Before each voyage, while others checked their nets and worried about the weather, Wallace sat quietly at the helm of his boat. There he would feel the weight of a bountiful catch, experience the satisfaction of full nets, and allow gratitude to fill his heart, all before casting a single line. His fellow fishermen called it luck when he returned with abundant hauls, but Wallace knew better. He had already felt the catch before it arrived. The secret lies in this: your emotions do not know the difference between what is happening now and what is yet to come. When you feel genuine gratitude, joy, or accomplishment for something you desire, as if it were already yours, you send a signal to the universe that this reality exists now. And like a mirror, life reflects back what you feel to be true. This ancient practice remains one of the most powerful tools for manifestation. Each morning, for 5 minutes, allow yourself to feel deep gratitude for something you desire, as though it has already happened. Feel the joy, the satisfaction, the peace that comes with its achievement. Let this feeling permeate every cell of your being. This is not pretending, it is practicing the art of feeling your future into being. Chapter 7. The Present Moment Gateway. In a small town where time seemed to move both too quickly and too slowly, George spent his days fixing watches and clocks, all while dwelling on moments that had slipped through his fingers. His skilled hands could adjust any timepiece to perfect precision, yet his mind remained stuck in an endless loop of if only and what might have been. Then one morning, as George polished the glass face of an antique pocket watch, a mysterious traveler entered his shop. The stranger carried no timepiece to repair, but instead offered George something far more valuable, a truth about time itself. Time is not a line stretching from past to future, the traveler said, his eyes reflecting wisdom beyond measure. It is a single point of power, and that point is now. You see, the present moment holds a power that neither past nor future can claim. It is the only point where change is possible, where reality can be reshaped. When you project your desires into some distant future, you unknowingly push them away from manifestation. The universe responds to what you accept as real now. Most seekers of change make this crucial mistake. They place their visions in a nebulous someday, treating them as distant possibilities rather than current realities. But manifestation occurs in the present, in the immediate acceptance of what you desire as already yours. Consider Violet, who had spent years dreaming of finding true love. She would gaze at empty chairs across restaurant tables, imagining someone special sitting there one day. But everything changed when she learned to shift her perspective. Instead of longing for future love, she began experiencing herself as loved in the present moment. She walked through her days feeling cherished, appreciated, and adored, not as a wish, but as a current reality. Within a week, she encountered a man whose presence matched perfectly with the love she had already accepted as real. The message is clear. What you treat as real in the now becomes real in your experience. This is not about denying current circumstances, but about holding your vision as an active reality rather than a future possibility. Throughout the day, catch yourself whenever you say or think, "one day," and replace it with, "it is happening now." Watch how reality shifts to meet your elevated consciousness. Notice how your energy transforms when you step fully into the present manifestation of your desires. This simple yet profound practice aligns you with the creative power of the universe, drawing forth the very experiences you once relegated to some distant future. As you declare the presence of your good in the eternal now, you activate the divine law that brings all things into being. Chapter 8, The Observer Effect. In the sterile confines of a prestigious research facility, Douglas hunched over his quantum measurement devices, his scientific mind wrestling with an impossible observation. The particles he studied seemed to defy the very laws of reality, existing in multiple states until the moment of observation. You too are a quantum observer, shaping the fabric of reality through your focused attention. Just as particles exist in a state of infinite possibility until measured, your life circumstances remain in flux until crystallized by your conscious observation. The universe operates as a vast field of probability waves, waiting for the power of consciousness to collapse them into tangible form. This is not mysticism, it is the cutting edge of quantum physics, where science and spirit meet in perfect harmony. Most drift through life unconsciously, allowing their scattered attention to manifest chaotic results. But those who understand this principle wield extraordinary power. By maintaining unwavering focus on specific outcomes, they collapse the quantum field in their favor. Consider Mabel, whose story mirrors this quantum principle perfectly. A gifted violinist playing in subway stations, she began a daily practice of seeing herself performing at Carnegie Hall. She didn't merely wish for it, she observed it as her reality, holding the vision with scientific precision. Within months, a series of seemingly random events unfolded. A delayed train that led to an unexpected encounter with a renowned conductor, a last-minute cancellation that opened a coveted performance slot. Each coincidence was a quantum collapse, orchestrated by her focused observation. Your thoughts are not mere electrical impulses in your brain. They are observations that collapse quantum possibilities into physical reality. Every moment of attention is a measurement that shapes the world around you. This is why scattered thinking creates scattered results, while focused observation manifests precise outcomes. Spend 10 minutes today observing your thoughts as if they are shaping the world around you. Direct your focus only to what you want to materialize. Let your mind become like a finely tuned instrument, measuring and collapsing quantum possibilities into physical form. As you move through this practice, notice how your attention naturally draws certain experiences closer, while others fade into the background. Remember that this is not mere visualization. It is the active process of reality creation through conscious observation. When scattered thoughts arise, gently guide them back to your chosen focus, knowing that each moment of directed attention is a powerful act of manifestation. Chapter 9. Detachment. In a sunlit garden where morning dew still clung to delicate petals, Eleanor knelt beside her flower beds. Day after day she had watched her seedlings fretting over every leaf and stem. Yet the more she hovered, the more her garden seemed to resist her efforts. It wasn't until she learned to step back, to trust in nature's wisdom, that her garden transformed into a paradise of effortless bloom. You too may find yourself caught in this dance of desire and control. The ancient law of manifestation holds a paradox that few understand. What you seek most desperately often eludes you, while what you release returns multiplied. When you grasp too tightly at your visions, you create resistance in the very fabric of creation. Like trying to hold water in a clenched fist, the harder you squeeze, the more it slips away. But open your palm and water pools naturally in its center. The universe operates through perfect law, neither rushing nor delaying. Just as a seed contains within it the complete blueprint of a flower, your visualization holds the complete pattern of its manifestation. Your role is not to force its growth, but to plant it with intention and then step aside. Consider Walter, a merchant whose desperate pursuit of wealth left him exhausted and empty-handed. Every opportunity he chased seemed to dissolve before his eyes. His turning point came when, exhausted from the chase, he finally surrendered his obsession with money. In that space of letting go, opportunities began flowing to him effortlessly, as though they had been waiting for him to release his grip. This principle extends beyond the material realm. In relationships, in career advancement, in spiritual growth, attachment creates resistance, while detachment allows flow. This is not passive resignation, but active trust in the universal law of manifestation. Today, visualize something you deeply desire. Let the image form clearly in your mind's eye, feeling its reality with all your senses. Then, with the wisdom of the ancient masters, completely release it into the infinite ocean of possibility. Say with unwavering conviction, "It is already done," and trust with your whole being that it will manifest in its perfect divine timing. This act of conscious surrender aligns you with the cosmic flow of abundance, allowing your desire to blossom naturally, like a flower opening to the morning sun. Remember, your role is not to force or strain, but to plant the seed with intention and then step back in perfect faith, knowing the universal laws are already at work on your behalf. Chapter 10. Unlocking the Subconscious Vault. In a dimly lit workshop filled with the gentle ticking of countless timepieces, Henry crafted and repaired clocks, as his father and grandfather had done before him. Each day followed the same rhythm: wake at dawn, work until dusk, worry about finances, sleep fitfully, and repeat. For 40 years, this pattern persisted, as predictable as the mechanisms he maintained. You see, like Henry, your life moves in patterns set deep within your subconscious mind. These patterns, established through years of repetition and emotional experiences, govern nearly every aspect of your existence. They are the hidden clockwork of your reality. The subconscious mind is the master control center, directing 95% of your thoughts, actions, and experiences. While your conscious mind may set noble intentions through visualization, unless these new patterns reach the depths of your subconscious, transformation remains elusive. Think of your subconscious as the soil in which your visualizations must take root. No matter how perfect the seed, if the soil remains hostile, growth cannot occur. This explains why so many struggle despite their best conscious efforts. They attempt to plant new visions in old soil. Clara understood this truth intimately. From childhood, fear had been her constant companion. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of her own potential. Her conscious mind knew these fears were unfounded, yet they persisted. It wasn't until she learned to speak directly to her subconscious through vivid mental imagery that her life began to shift. Each night as she drifted towards sleep, Clara would imagine herself surrounded by golden light, feeling absolute safety and confidence. This practice, maintained faithfully, began to rewrite her deep programming. Within months, she found herself speaking up in meetings, pursuing opportunities she would have once avoided, and attracting relationships that reflected her new inner reality. The key lies in timing and repetition. The moments before sleep provide direct access to your subconscious mind. In this twilight state, the critical faculty of your conscious mind relaxes, allowing new patterns to take root more easily. Before sleep, spend 5 minutes affirming and visualizing the life you desire. The subconscious absorbs most deeply during this time. Let your entire being relax into these moments of profound receptivity, for they hold the seeds of your transformation. As you lie in peaceful stillness, allow your mind to paint vivid pictures of your aspirations fulfilled. See yourself living, breathing, and moving through the reality you wish to create. The ancient mystics understood that these twilight moments between waking and sleeping are sacred gateways through which universal power flows most freely into human consciousness. Part 2: Deepening Understanding and Practice. Chapter 11: The 3 Levels of Visualization. In the hushed halls of a prestigious chess tournament, a young boy named Edwin sat motionless before the board, his eyes closed. The spectators whispered among themselves, wondering why this 12-year-old seemed more focused on his inner world than the pieces before him. What they didn't know was that Edwin had already played this match 1,000 times in his mind. You see, the power of visualization operates on 3 distinct levels, each deeper and more transformative than the last. Most practitioners never venture beyond the first level, mental imagery, where they simply picture their desired outcome like watching a movie screen. While this can create change, it barely scratches the surface of what's possible. The second level involves complete sensory immersion. Here you not only see your vision, but engage every sense in its reality. You feel the texture of success against your skin, hear the sounds of achievement in your ears, taste the sweetness of victory on your tongue. This deeper engagement begins to blur the line between imagination and reality. But it is the third level, full embodiment, where true mastery lies. At this level, you don't merely observe or experience your vision, you become it entirely. Your very essence shifts to match the reality you wish to create. This was Edwin's secret. In his mind, he didn't just see himself winning matches. He lived as a champion, thought as a champion, breathed as a champion. Ruth, a humble seamstress, discovered this same truth in her own way. While others in her position might have simply dreamed of success, she went further. In her daily meditations, She didn't just picture herself designing beautiful gowns. She felt the silk between her fingers, heard the whisper of fabric, and most importantly, embodied the consciousness of a renowned designer. She lived from that space of achievement until the outer world had no choice but to reflect her inner reality. The universe responds not to what you want, but to who you are being. When you fully embody your vision, you create an energetic blueprint so powerful that reality must reshape itself to match it. Choose a goal that stirs your soul and visualize it at all 3 levels of manifestation. Start by seeing it clearly in your mind's eye, painting every detail with the brush of your imagination. Then engage all your senses fully. Feel the textures associated with your achievement. Hear the sounds of success. Breathe in the essence of accomplishment. Taste the sweetness of victory. Finally, and most crucially, mentally step into and become the version of you who has already achieved this dream. Feel how differently that accomplished version of you moves through the world, thinks about challenges and approaches each day. Let this elevated state of consciousness become your new normal, for it is through this complete transformation of being that your outer world must inevitably align with your inner truth. Chapter 12: The Forgotten Power of Nighttime Visualization. In a bustling city where time seemed to slip through fingers like grains of sand, Morris dragged himself home each evening, worn down by the weight of endless meetings and missed opportunities. One night, too exhausted to sleep yet too tired to stay awake, he found himself drifting in that twilight state between consciousness and dreams. In this ethereal space, his mind began to wander, replaying the day's events, but with a crucial difference. Instead of reliving his actual experiences, he unconsciously revised them, seeing them unfold as he wished they had. The mysteries of the mind reveal themselves in these quiet moments between wake and sleep. It is here, in this sacred threshold, that the barriers between what is and what could be grow thin. The subconscious mind, keeper of all patterns and programs that shape your reality, lies most receptive during these precious minutes before slumber. Morris discovered this truth by accident, but ancient wisdom has long known that the seeds planted in the garden of the mind just before sleep grow into tomorrow's reality. Each night, as your conscious mind releases its grip on the world, the subconscious opens like a flower at dawn, ready to receive new instructions for manifestation. Consider Esther, who once performed in near-empty venues, her dreams of acclaim seemingly out of reach. Yet each night as she lay in her bed, she would transport herself to a stage filled with thunderous applause. She felt the warmth of the spotlight, heard the roar of the crowd, experienced the rush of joy as audiences rose to their feet. Night after night, she imprinted this reality onto her subconscious mind until the very fabric of her experiences began to shift. The mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one, particularly in those drowsy moments before sleep. What you focus on during this time becomes the blueprint for your tomorrow. Morris found his meetings becoming more productive, his decisions more confident, his days flowing with an ease he had never known before. Esther watched in amazement as her audiences grew, their standing ovations matching perfectly the scenes she had rehearsed in her mind. This is not mere coincidence, but the operation of an immutable universal law. The final thoughts before sleep imprint themselves most deeply on the subconscious mind, shaping the reality to come. Tonight, before sleep, mentally revise any moment of your day that didn't go as desired. Rewrite it in your mind as if it had happened perfectly. Chapter 13: From Wishful Thinking to Certain Knowing. In the dimly lit corners of a seaside tavern, Wallace clutched his dice with trembling hands, his pockets empty save for his last few coins. Night after night, he had come here hoping, always hoping, that fortune would smile upon him. Yet hope, as he would soon learn, was the very thing holding him back. An elderly man, his weathered face etched with wisdom, watched Wallace from across the room. As Wallace prepared to make his final throw, the old man's hand gently stayed his wrist. "You play like a man begging the universe for mercy," he said, his voice carrying the weight of ancient knowing. "But the universe does not respond to begging. It responds to certainty. The truth of manifestation lies not in what you wish for, but in what you know beyond doubt. Most remain trapped in the realm of hoping, praying, wanting, never realizing these very states proclaim their lack to the universe. To transform your reality, you must cross the bridge from uncertainty to unshakable knowing." When Wallace learned to feel the wind in his bones before the dice left his hands, his entire world shifted. He stopped playing like a man desperate for victory and began moving with the confidence of one who had already won. The universe, ever faithful to your deepest convictions, responded in kind. Abigail's story mirrors this truth. For years she searched for love, her heart aching with longing. Each date became another exercise in hope and disappointment. Then she discovered the secret: to stop searching and start being. She began setting her table for two, speaking as if her beloved were already present, carrying herself with the quiet joy of a woman deeply loved. The universe, seeing her certainty, brought her reality into alignment with her knowing. You see, when you operate from a place of hoping, you announce to the universe that what you desire is not yet real. But when you shift into knowing, absolute, unwavering knowing, reality has no choice but to conform to your conviction. This is not wishful thinking or blind faith. This is the law of consciousness in action. Take a desire you've been hoping for and shift into knowing it is already done. Walk, speak, and act as if it has already happened. Feel the weight of certainty in your bones. Let it infuse every breath you take. When you meet others, let your eyes shine with the quiet joy of one who has already received their blessing. Your certainty becomes a beacon, drawing to you the very thing you know is yours. The universe responds not to what you wish for, but to what you know to be true in the depths of your being. Make this knowing as natural as the rising sun, as inevitable as the changing tides. Chapter 14. Visualization through symbols and archetypes. In the shadow-filled study of an ancient library, Silas ran his fingers across weathered manuscripts, discovering patterns that would forever change his understanding of manifestation. Each civilization, from the Egyptians to the Mayans, had left behind more than just stories. They had encoded the very language of creation into symbols. You see, the mind speaks not just in words, but in images that bypass the conscious mind's resistance. These symbols, whether carved in stone or sketched in sand, carry power that transcends time, speaking directly to the depths of your being. The subconscious mind, that silent architect of reality, responds to symbols with remarkable precision. A circle is not merely a shape, it represents wholeness, completion, the infinite nature of possibility. A spiral speaks to growth, evolution, the natural unfolding of destiny. These are not mere artistic choices. They are keys that unlock the doors of manifestation. Lillian discovered this truth in her own way. Each night she would place a golden key beneath her pillow, not for its monetary value, but for its symbolic resonance. The key represented unlimited access to abundance, a symbol her subconscious mind understood without question or doubt. Within weeks, opportunities began appearing. An unexpected inheritance, a business proposition, a chance meeting with a wealthy investor. The key had done its work, speaking a language deeper than words. You must understand, symbols are not magical tokens, but rather tools that align your deeper mind with your intentions. When you choose a symbol that resonates with your goal, you create a bridge between the seen and unseen worlds. The ancient societies knew this well, encoding their most powerful teachings in hieroglyphs and sacred geometry. Choose a personal symbol that represents your goal. Place it somewhere visible and let it become an anchor for your manifestation. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 15, Time Distortion. In the quiet dawn of a morning long ago, Nora sat in her dressing room staring at her reflection. Not the reflection of who she was, but of who she would become. This simple shift in perspective would unlock one of the most powerful secrets of manifestation. The mind does not distinguish between past and future. It knows only what you accept as real. When you project yourself forward and look back, treating your desires as memories rather than wishes, you activate a profound force of creation. Imagine yourself 5 years from now reflecting on the magnificent journey that led you here. Feel the weight of experience, the wisdom gained, the obstacles overcome. This is not mere daydreaming. It is conscious reality creation through the lens of time. Roger understood this principle in his own way. Each spring, before the first seed touched soil, he would walk his fields at sunset, thanking the earth for crops not yet planted. He spoke of the harvest as though it had already been gathered, describing the abundance with the certainty of memory rather than hope. His neighbors thought him peculiar until his fields yielded harvests that defied expectation. The future is not a distant shore you must swim toward. It is a reality you step into by remembering it now. When you treat your desired outcome as a memory, your subconscious mind begins rearranging the present to align with this remembered future. Most spend their lives pushing toward their goals, creating resistance. But when you pull from the future, experiencing it as though it has already manifested, you eliminate the gap between desire and fulfillment. Time becomes fluid, responding to your certainty rather than your longing. Write a journal entry as if you are your future self, looking back at today with gratitude for how perfectly everything unfolded. Let your words flow from that place of certainty, where all you desire has already come to pass. Feel the deep satisfaction of reflection, knowing that what once seemed impossible manifested with divine timing and grace. As you write, allow yourself to experience the emotions of achievement, the joy of dreams realized, and the peaceful knowing that all unfolded exactly as it should. Chapter 16, Overcoming Resistance. In the dimming light of a concert hall, Harold sat alone at his piano, his fingers hovering above the keys. Night after night, he would reach for greatness, only to feel an invisible force pulling him back into mediocrity. This force, though unseen, shaped his reality more powerfully than any conscious intention. You too may feel this force, a hidden resistance that seems to arise whenever you step toward your dreams. These are not mere doubts, but deeply embedded programs running silently in your subconscious mind. Like ancient software, these beliefs operate beneath awareness, yet determine what you allow yourself to receive. The subconscious mind holds every experience, every word spoken over you, every conclusion drawn in moments of pain or fear. These become the invisible architects of your limitations. Until you shine light into these shadows, your visualizations will battle against these hidden saboteurs. Frances, a dedicated teacher, lived modestly despite her talents and hard work. Each time abundance approached, she found herself making choices that maintained her financial struggles. Through inner exploration, she uncovered a memory. Her grandmother's constant warnings about the dangers of wealth, the subtle messaging that money corrupts. This belief, planted in childhood, had grown into an unseen wall between her and prosperity. The moment Frances recognized this pattern, its power began to fade. She understood that her grandmother's fears were not her truth. As she consciously chose new beliefs about abundance, her external reality shifted. Opportunities she had unconsciously rejected began flowing freely into her life. Your subconscious mind is like a garden. It will grow whatever seeds are planted there, whether they serve you or not. But you possess the power to uproot limiting beliefs and plant new ones. Each time you identify and challenge a restrictive thought, you weaken its hold on your reality. Today, take one recurring doubt or fear that haunts your path. Examine its roots. When did you first accept this belief? Is it truly yours or inherited from others? Write it down, then craft a new belief that aligns with your desires. Speak this new truth daily until it becomes your dominant thought pattern. Chapter 17. The Power of Repetition. In the quiet hours before dawn, Beatrice would stand before her mirror, speaking words that seemed impossible at first. I am worthy of abundance and joy. Day after day she repeated this ritual, even when doubt clouded her mind. At first nothing changed, but slowly, imperceptibly, these words began to reshape her reality. The mind responds to repetition like water shapes stone. Gradually but inexorably, each thought you think repeatedly carves a pathway in your consciousness until what was once foreign becomes familiar and what was once impossible becomes inevitable. Most seek instant transformation, yet true change emerges through consistent practice. Your thoughts are like seeds. They require daily nurturing to take root and flourish. A single day of positive thinking cannot overcome years of limiting beliefs, but persistent repetition will eventually break through any mental barrier. Vincent, a boxer who had lost his early matches, understood this truth. Each morning and night, he would close his eyes and see himself victorious in the ring. He felt the weight of the championship belt, heard the roar of the crowd, experienced the thrill of triumph, not once but hundreds of times in his mind. When he finally stepped into the ring, his body moved with the certainty of someone who had already won countless times. Your reality shifts not through sporadic bursts of visualization, but through unwavering dedication to a single vision. What you repeat becomes your truth, regardless of whether it serves or hinders you. This is why many remain trapped in cycles of limitation. They consistently reinforce thoughts of lack or failure. The power lies not in the intensity of your visualization, but in its consistency. 21 days marks the minimum threshold for new neural pathways to form. During this time, your old beliefs will resist, attempting to pull you back to familiar patterns. Yet if you persist, maintaining your chosen visualization or affirmation without wavering, a new reality will emerge. Sacred practice. Select one visualization or affirmation that represents your deepest desire, the truth that calls to your soul above all others. For the next 21 days, practice it faithfully at the same time each day without fail. Whether you feel inspired or filled with doubt, energized or weary, maintain this sacred practice with unwavering dedication. Your consistency will become the bridge between your current reality and the one you wish to create. Let no external circumstance deter you from this daily ritual, for it is through this devoted practice that the seeds of transformation take root in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Chapter 18. The Mirror Principle. In the depths of winter, Judith stood before her canvas, brush trembling in her hand. For months her paintings had captured only darkness and shadow, scenes of isolation and despair. As she studied her work, a revelation dawned. Every brushstroke reflected not the world outside, but the landscape within her heart. The universe operates as a perfect mirror, reflecting back the essence of your inner state. When you walk through life carrying fear, the world presents situations that validate that fear. When you move through your days radiating joy, circumstances align to amplify that joy. This mirror principle reveals why two people can encounter the same situation, yet experience entirely different outcomes. Your perception shapes your reality with such precision that what you believe about yourself becomes what others believe about you. What you expect from life becomes what life delivers to you. Oscar, who had long dismissed such notions as mere fantasy, decided to test this principle. Though naturally reserved and suspicious of others, he began greeting everyone, from store clerks to passing strangers, with genuine warmth and appreciation. Within weeks, his world transformed. Business opportunities emerged from unexpected conversations. New friendships blossomed from chance encounters. Even his morning coffee seemed to taste better when served with a smile that mirrored his own. The mirror of life reflects with absolute fidelity. If you see yourself as unworthy, the world will present experiences that reinforce that unworthiness. If you carry an unshakable sense of your own value, reality will adjust to honor that self-image. This is not magic. It is the law of consciousness expressing itself through the matrix of existence. Your thoughts and feelings create ripples in the fabric of reality, like stones cast into a still pond. These ripples return to you as the circumstances of your life. When you understand this principle, you hold the key to transforming your entire experience of existence. Sacred practice. Throughout this day, observe how the world responds to your internal state. Notice how people react to you, how situations unfold around you. Then, consciously shift your inner feeling, from fear to love, from lack to abundance, from judgment to acceptance, and watch as your outer reality transforms to match this new vibration. Chapter 19. Mental Rehearsal. In the flickering light of dawn, Felix stood alone on an empty stage, his eyes closed, his presence commanding the silent theater. Though no audience sat before him, in his mind's eye, he saw every seat filled, heard every breath, felt every moment of anticipation. Before each physical performance, he lived it first in the sacred theater of his imagination. You possess this same innate power, the ability to experience events before they materialize in the physical world. Your mind, that magnificent instrument of creation, cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you mentally rehearse an event with complete sensory immersion, your nervous system responds as though it is actually happening. This truth unveils one of the most powerful secrets of manifestation. What you practice in your mind becomes your reality. Each time you mentally rehearse a desired experience, you forge neural pathways that make that outcome more likely. Your body learns the feelings, your mind masters the movements, and your spirit aligns with the energy of success. Consider Evelyn, who dreamed of sharing her message with the world. Each morning, she would sit in quiet solitude, imagining herself standing before a vast audience. She felt the warmth of the stage lights, heard the rustle of anticipation, experienced the perfect flow of words from her lips. She lived it so completely in her mind that when the invitation arrived to speak at a global conference, it felt like déjà vu. She had already been there countless times in her consciousness. The universe responds not to what you wish for, but to what you have already experienced within. When you can feel the reality of your desire with such clarity that it seems like a memory rather than a hope, you have discovered the key to conscious creation. Sacred practice. Before any significant event or desired experience, find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Close your eyes and mentally rehearse the experience in perfect detail. See what you will see, hear what you will hear, feel what you will feel. Live it completely in your mind, allowing your body to experience the satisfaction of flawless execution. Repeat this practice until the desired outcome feels as natural as breathing. Chapter 20. Aligning with the highest version of you. In the quiet hours before dawn, Samuel sat at his modest desk, straightening his tie with unusual care. Though his colleagues saw only a clerk managing paperwork, in the depths of his being, he carried himself with the quiet authority of a leader. Each morning he arrived early, not because it was required, but because that was what a natural leader would do. He spoke with clarity and purpose, handled challenges with grace, and treated every task as an opportunity to demonstrate excellence, not to prove himself, but because that was simply who he had become in his mind. You too hold this power of transformation. The secret lies not in visualizing what you want to achieve, but in becoming the person who naturally achieves it. When you shift your inner identity, the outer world must reshape itself to match your new vibration. The law of attraction responds not to your desires, but to your state of being. Most seek to change their circumstances while maintaining their current self-image. This is why manifestation often feels like pushing against a mighty current. True transformation occurs when you dare to see yourself anew. Claire understood this principle intuitively. Though her manuscript had yet to find a publisher, she walked through life emanating the energy of a successful author. She wrote with the confidence of one whose words would touch millions. She spoke about her work with quiet certainty. She arranged her day as though interviews and book signings were inevitable parts of her future. She didn't pretend, she simply allowed her inner knowing to shape her present reality. The outer world has no choice but to mirror your inner identity. When you truly shift who you are at the core level, circumstances naturally align to support your new self-image. This is not about pretending or forcing. It is about allowing yourself to expand into the fuller version of who you already are. Sacred practice. Find a peaceful moment and close your eyes. Breathe deeply and allow your awareness to expand beyond your current limitations. In this expanded state, meet your highest self, the version of you who has already become all that you aspire to be. Notice how they move, how they speak, how they carry themselves through the world. Feel the quiet confidence in their presence. Ask them to show you how they navigate challenges, make decisions, and interact with others. Let their wisdom and energy flow into your present moment. Begin living from this elevated state of being, not as an act, but as a natural expression of who you truly are. Part 2, Mastery and Transformation. Chapter 21, The Ultimate Vision. Through the veiled corridors of time, Jonathan discovered an ancient manuscript, its pages worn by centuries of wisdom. As his fingers traced the faded text, he encountered words that would transform his understanding of reality. See not through the eyes of flesh, but through the eyes of the infinite. You stand now at this same threshold of understanding. The greatest limitation in your manifestation journey is not the world around you, but the lens through which you perceive it. When you view reality through human eyes, you see boundaries, limitations, and impossibilities. But there exists another way of seeing, through the eyes of Source itself. In this elevated perspective, everything already exists in its perfected state. There is no striving, no reaching, no desperate hoping. There is only the recognition of what already is. This is the secret that masters and mystics have guarded through the ages. True power lies not in creating anew, but in seeing what the divine already sees. Eleanor discovered this truth in the depths of her financial struggles. Rather than viewing her circumstances through the lens of lack, she began to see herself as the divine saw her, a channel of infinite abundance. She didn't merely imagine having more. She shifted her entire perspective to one of limitless possibility. Money began flowing through unexpected channels. Opportunities arose without effort, and her reality transformed to match her expanded vision. When you align your sight with Source, you transcend the limitations of human perception. From this vantage point, every desire already exists in its completed form. Your role is not to create it, but to align your vision with its reality. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Allow your awareness to expand beyond the boundaries of your physical form. Feel yourself merging with the infinite intelligence that flows through all creation. From this expanded state, look upon your life and desires through the eyes of Source. Notice how different everything appears when viewed through this limitless lens. Ask yourself, what would I create if I truly believed in my infinite nature? Let the answer arise not from your limited mind, but from the depths of universal wisdom that flows through you. Chapter 22, Instant Manifestation. In the shadow of an ancient clock tower, Walter watched his master perform what seemed impossible. The old craftsman would speak of an event, believe in it completely, and within moments it would unfold before their eyes. Time, the master explained, bends to the will of absolute certainty. You too possess this power, though you may not yet realize its full potential. The universe responds not to the calendar or clock, but to the unwavering conviction in your heart. When you truly believe something is possible now, not tomorrow, not next year, but in this very moment, reality shifts to accommodate your certainty. Most seek their desires through the long corridors of time, believing that manifestation must follow a linear path. They say, good things take time, and in accepting this limitation, they ensure its truth. But what if every moment held the potential for immediate transformation? What if the only thing stretching your manifestations across time was your belief that they must unfold slowly? Beatrice carried her manuscript from publisher to publisher, believing success would arrive after years of rejection. This is how it works, she told herself, until one day she questioned this assumption. In a moment of clarity, she released her belief in the necessity of struggle. My success is now, she declared, with unwavering certainty. Within hours, a chance encounter led to an immediate book deal, the very thing she had believed would take years. The speed of manifestation mirrors the speed of belief. When doubt lingers, reality waits. When belief is absolute, reality rushes to meet your conviction. The universe does not require time to arrange circumstances. It requires only your complete alignment with the desired outcome. Sacred practice. Choose something small but specific, perhaps a blue feather, an unexpected message from a dear friend, or a particular opportunity that brings joy to your heart. See it as already present in your reality, not as something approaching from the future. Feel its presence as vividly as you feel the chair beneath you or the air in your lungs. Release all doubt about its timing, for doubt is the only force that can delay what is already yours. Know with absolute certainty that it will appear within the next 24 hours, just as you know the sun will rise tomorrow. Then, release all attachment to the outcome, surrendering your desire to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Watch with peaceful anticipation how swiftly the universe responds to your unwavering belief, for it cannot help but mirror the certainty within your soul. Chapter 23. Sensory Amplification. In the quiet hours before dawn, Marianne's fingers moved with certainty across the formless clay. Though her physical eyes had never known light, her inner vision was crystal clear. Each masterpiece existed first in the sanctuary of her mind, where she could touch, feel, and know its completion before her hands began their dance. You possess this same innate ability to create through complete sensory immersion. The ancient masters understood that true visualization transcends mere pictures in the mind. It demands the engagement of every sense until the imagined becomes more real than your present circumstance. When you limit your creative power to visual imagery alone, you deny yourself the full spectrum of manifestation. Sound, touch, smell, taste, these are the bridges between thought and form, the anchors that root your vision into physical reality. Douglas knew this truth. In his workshop, surrounded by tools and half-finished prototypes, he would sit for hours in complete stillness. Before touching metal or wire, he would feel the weight of his invention in his hands, hear its precise mechanical hum, smell the unique scent of its materials, and sense its movement. When he finally began construction, it was as if he were simply recreating what already existed. This is the forgotten key. Your mind must experience your desire so completely that your body cannot distinguish between visualization and reality. The universe responds not to what you see, but to what you feel is real. When every cell of your being resonates with the truth of your vision, physical manifestation becomes inevitable. Sacred practice. Choose one vision that burns in your heart. Now enter it fully. If it is a new home, walk through each room. Feel the texture of the walls beneath your fingertips. Listen to how your footsteps echo against the floors. Smell the fresh air flowing through open windows. Touch the smooth countertops beneath your palms, letting your fingers trace their pristine surface. Hear the sound of joyous laughter bouncing off the walls, echoing through corridors that already feel like home. Feel the gentle warmth of sunlight streaming through crystal clear windows, bathing your skin in its golden embrace. Breathe in the fresh scent of possibility that permeates every corner. Make your vision so vivid, so completely alive within you, that when you finally open your eyes, your current reality feels like the passing dream, and your inner vision resonates as the deepest, most profound truth of your being. Chapter 24. Stepping into the Quantum Field. In the pristine halls of Cambridge University, Isaac stood before his equations, his mind wrestling with the strange behavior of quantum particles. For years he had dismissed the mystical as mere superstition, until the mathematics revealed a truth that shook his scientific foundation. Reality itself waited for an observer to take form. You stand now at the threshold of this profound understanding. The quantum field that Isaac studied is not separate from the ancient wisdom of manifestation. It is the same truth expressed through different languages. Every possibility exists simultaneously in an infinite sea of potential, waiting for your consciousness to choose which reality becomes real. When you truly grasp this principle, manifestation becomes less about creating and more about selecting. You are not forcing something new into existence. You are simply stepping into the version of reality where your desire already exists. This is why resistance dissolves when you understand that what you seek is already present, waiting for your attention to make it manifest. Matilda understood this instinctively. While working at her modest office job, she began living mentally in a reality where she explored the pyramids of Egypt. She didn't wish for it or hope for it. She simply shifted her awareness into that existing timeline. Within days, an envelope arrived containing a contest prize she had forgotten entering, an all-expenses-paid journey to the very places she had been experiencing in her mind. Your power lies not in creating what is missing, but in choosing which reality you observe into existence. Like a quantum particle that exists in all states until measured, your life contains every possibility until you select which one to experience. This selection happens through your focused attention and unwavering certainty. The ancient mystics knew this. The quantum physicists proved it. Now you hold this truth. Reality is not fixed but fluid, responding instantly to where you place your conscious awareness. Sacred practice. Close your eyes and sense the infinite field of possibilities surrounding you like a vast cosmic ocean of potential. Feel how every dream, every desire already exists in perfect form within this boundless expanse of creation. Each possibility vibrates with its own divine frequency, waiting to be acknowledged by your conscious awareness. Now, with deliberate intention, step mentally into the reality where your deepest aspiration is already manifest. Don't reach for it. Move your consciousness into it as naturally as stepping through an open doorway. Feel the solidity of that reality around you, as tangible as the chair beneath you, as real as the air you breathe. Let your entire being resonate with its existence, allowing every cell of your body to harmonize with this chosen reality. You are not creating it. You are choosing to experience what already is, selecting from the infinite array of parallel realities that exist in the eternal now. Chapter 25, The Reality Shift Threshold. In the hallowed halls of Princeton University, Eliot pored over thousands of case studies, searching for the common thread that linked sudden life transformations. As a behavioral scientist, he had always been skeptical of overnight success stories until the evidence became overwhelming. You now stand before this same revelation. The threshold of transformation is not gradual, but sudden, a quantum leap that occurs when belief shifts from possibility to absolute knowing. This is the secret that the ancient masters understood. Reality reorganizes itself the moment your consciousness fully accepts a new truth. Most remain trapped in their circumstances because they hover at the edge of belief, never fully crossing over. They hope, they wish, they try, but they never reach the point of absolute knowing. This knowing is not intellectual but visceral, a deep inner certainty that makes doubt impossible. Claire discovered this truth in an unexpected way. Night after night, she would return to her small apartment after failed auditions, until one evening something shifted within her. She stopped trying to become successful and simply stepped into the identity of success itself. Her posture changed, her voice carried new authority, her very presence transformed. She didn't act successful. She was successful, and the world had no choice but to reflect this new reality. Within weeks, directors who had previously ignored her were calling. Roles she had once begged for were now being offered freely. This is the power of crossing the threshold. When you truly step into a new identity, the old reality has no choice but to crumble. The universe rearranges itself to match your new level of consciousness. This is not about positive thinking or mere visualization. It is about becoming the embodiment of what you seek. Sacred practice. Stand before a mirror in a quiet, sacred space. Look deeply into your own eyes, past the surface reflection to the eternal soul within. Feel where you are hovering at the edge of transformation, sensing the electricity of potential crackling in the air around you. Now, with the full force of your being, your voice resonating with unwavering certainty, declare, "I step completely into my new reality. There is no going back." Let these words echo through every cell of your body. Feel the profound shift in your physical form, your energy field, your very essence as the old self dissolves and the new emerges. This is not a practice in make-believe or wishful thinking. It is a powerful declaration to the universe that you have crossed the threshold of no return. In this moment, you are rewriting the cosmic contract of your existence. Chapter 26. The Sacred Power of Faith Over Sight. In a small village among ancient forests, Harold crafted furniture with skilled hands but a troubled mind. Each piece he created was perfect in form, yet he constantly doubted his worth, measuring success only by what his eyes could see. Until one dawn, while gathering wood, he encountered an aging sage seated beneath a towering oak. You now stand where Harold once stood, at the crossroads between visible limitation and invisible possibility. The sage shared a truth that would transform Harold's understanding forever. The eyes that see only wood will create only chairs, but the eyes that see beyond matter will craft masterpieces that have not yet taken form. True faith transcends the need for physical evidence. It is not the desperate hope that something might occur, but the calm knowing that it already exists in the unseen realm. Those who wait for proof before believing remain bound by what is, while those who believe without proof become architects of what will be. Consider Ruth, who lost her home, savings, and livelihood in a single stroke of misfortune. While others saw destitution, she maintained an unwavering vision of abundance. Each morning, she would touch her empty wallet with gratitude, speaking to it as though it were already full. She walked through empty rooms as if they contained beautiful furnishings, thanking each space for its bounty. To the physical eye, nothing had changed, but in the realm of spirit where all creation begins, she was already wealthy. Within months, a series of unexpected opportunities transformed her circumstances, manifesting the prosperity she had faithfully seen beyond the visible world. The universe responds not to what your physical eyes witness, but to what your spiritual vision holds as truth. When you require proof before belief, you reverse the natural order of creation. All things exist first in the unseen before manifesting in the seen. This is the ancient law that has guided mystics and masters through the ages. Sacred practice. Choose an area of your life where you have been waiting for evidence before believing. Perhaps it is health, wealth, or a cherished dream. Now release the need for physical proof. Close your eyes and know with absolute certainty that what you seek already exists in the invisible realm. Touch it with your spiritual senses. Thank it for already being present. Walk through your day carrying this knowing in your heart, seeing beyond what physical eyes reveal. The visible world has no choice but to reshape itself to match your unwavering faith. Chapter 27. The Reversal Method. In the quiet halls of an Olympic training facility, Victor stood before his coach, shoulders slumped in defeat. He had visualized his upcoming race perfectly for weeks, yet in a moment of doubt, his mind replayed a devastating fall from his last competition. The memory felt so real it threatened to reshape his future performance. You possess this same power to rewrite reality's script. The mind, in its infinite wisdom, does not distinguish between what has happened and what could happen. Every thought leaves an impression. but none are permanently etched in stone. When unwanted images arise in your consciousness, they begin weaving themselves into the fabric of your future experience. Yet, in that sacred moment before manifestation, you hold the power to erase and rewrite. Like an artist working with wet clay, you can smooth away imperfections before they harden into form. Consider Mabel, whose mind once dwelled constantly on past disappointments. Each morning, she would recall memories of loss and failure, unknowingly programming more of the same into her future. Then she discovered the ancient art of mental revision. Instead of accepting memories as fixed reality, she began reimagining them. The job interview where she had stumbled became a moment of brilliant articulation. The relationship that had ended in pain transformed into a blessing that led her to greater love. As she rewrote her mental story, her external world began shifting to match her new narrative. The key lies in understanding that time is not linear in the realm of consciousness. What appears as past is simply an impression in your mind, as moldable as tomorrow's possibilities. When you catch yourself visualizing unwanted scenarios or dwelling on past mistakes, pause. See these thoughts as pencil marks that can be erased and redrawn. Your power to reshape reality extends beyond future manifestations. It reaches into what you perceive as the past. Every memory you hold shapes your present experience. By consciously revising these mental impressions, you alter the trajectory of your life's unfolding. Sacred practice. Bring to mind a moment from your past or a recent visualization that you wish had unfolded differently. See it clearly in your mind's eye. Now, like wiping clean a blackboard, let that version fade away. Rebuild the scene as you would have it be. Add vivid detail, the words spoken, the emotions felt, the outcome achieved. Experience this new version with all your senses until it feels more real than the original memory. Your mind will accept this revised version as truth, using it as a template for future manifestations. Chapter 28. Unshakable Mental Discipline. In the mountains of ancient China, Edgar stood guard at the gates of a fortress. For years he had trained his body for combat, yet his master taught him that the most crucial battle was fought within the chambers of his own mind. You too stand as guardian at the gates of your consciousness. Every thought-seeking entry must first pass your inspection. This is not mere metaphor. It is the foundation of masterful manifestation. Most allow their minds to remain like an unguarded city where any wandering thought may take residence. They wonder why their reality reflects chaos when they have left their mental gates wide open to discord. The art of conscious creation demands vigilance. Just as a fortress cannot be breached if its guards remain alert, so too will your manifestations remain pure when you carefully filter what thoughts you allow to dwell within. Dorothy, a gifted violinist, discovered this truth when her performances began to suffer. Though her technique was flawless, anxiety would creep into her mind before each concert, manifesting as missed notes and shaking hands. It was then she learned of mental guardianship, the practice of standing watch over her thoughts with unwavering attention. She began treating her mind like a sacred temple, allowing entry only to thoughts that served her highest vision. When doubt approached, she turned it away. When fear knocked at her mental door, she denied it entry. Within months, her performances transformed. More than this, her entire life began to reflect the purity of her guarded thoughts. Opportunities appeared, relationships flourished, and joy became her constant companion. The power of selective focus is not selective at all, it must be absolute. A single guard who sleeps at his post can compromise an entire fortress. Similarly, allowing even one negative thought to take root, can undermine your carefully crafted vision. This is not about suppression, but about conscious choice. You need not fight unwanted thoughts, simply refuse them entry. Like turning away unwelcome visitors, you acknowledge their presence at your mental gate and firmly direct them elsewhere. Sacred practice. For the next 24 hours, position yourself as the guardian of your mind's fortress, standing watchful at its ancient gates. Watch each thought as it approaches, examining its nature and intent with the discerning eye of a wise sentinel. If it does not serve your highest vision, if it carries the seeds of doubt, fear, or limitation, immediately replace it with one that does. Choose thoughts that elevate, inspire, and align with the divine truth you seek to manifest. This is not a practice in perfection, but in awareness and conscious choice. You need not berate yourself when unwanted thoughts appear, for the very act of noticing them strengthens your guardianship. Stand vigilant at your mental gates, firm yet peaceful in your duty, and watch as your reality transforms to match the purity of your guarded thoughts. Like a crystal stream that grows clearer with each passing moment, your consciousness will reflect ever more perfectly the light of your highest aspirations. Chapter 29. Living as If. In a quiet university office, Andrew sat grading papers, outwardly appearing like any other professor. Yet inside, he had embarked on a remarkable experiment, one that would challenge everything he understood about reality. You see, Andrew had discovered that waiting for circumstances to change was backward thinking. Instead of hoping his desired reality would eventually manifest, he began living as if it already had. He spoke with the confidence of a renowned scholar, carried himself with the dignity of someone whose work had already changed lives, and treated each student as though they were part of his greater vision. Within weeks, invitations to speak at prestigious conferences arrived. His research gained unexpected attention. The reality he had been embodying seemed to materialize around him, as if catching up to what he had already become. The key lies not in endless visualization, but in transcending the need for it entirely. When you fully merge with your desired state of being, visualization becomes unnecessary. You have become the very thing you once imagined. Consider Annabelle, whose world shattered with the loss of her beloved husband. Rather than dwelling in grief, she made a bold choice. She began moving through her days as though joy and wholeness were already her truth. She tended her garden with renewed purpose, spoke to neighbors with genuine warmth, and allowed laughter to return to her home. She didn't pretend her loss hadn't occurred. Instead, she embodied the healing she sought. Soon, her life reflected this inner shift. New friendships blossomed, opportunities for connection appeared, and a sense of purpose returned that surprised even her. This is the ultimate secret of manifestation, becoming so completely aligned with your desired reality that you no longer need to call it forth. It simply is, because you are. The distance between where you stand and where you wish to be exists only in your mind. When you choose to live as though you have already arrived, reality has no choice but to conform to your new way of being. Sacred practice. Throughout this day, step fully into the version of yourself who has already achieved everything you desire. Speak with that person's confidence. Move with their certainty. Make decisions from their perspective. Let every action flow from the truth that your dream life is not coming. It is here now, expressing through you. Notice how reality begins to shift to match your new way of being. Feel the subtle yet profound difference in how you carry yourself, how you interact with others, how you approach each moment. When doubt arises, remember that this elevated version of yourself is not a fantasy, but your deepest truth. waiting to be acknowledged. Your desired reality exists within you already, like a seed containing the full pattern of the mighty tree it will become. Allow this knowing to infuse every breath, every gesture, every choice you make. Chapter 30. The New You. In the twilight of his years, Joseph would often sit by the harbor, watching the ships come and go. Yet his gaze held something deeper, the knowing smile of one who had discovered the ultimate truth of creation. You see, once you master the art of conscious creation, there is no returning to your former state of being. Just as a butterfly cannot crawl back into its chrysalis, you cannot unknow the power you have discovered. Joseph had spent decades at sea believing life was a matter of chance and circumstance. Now he understood that every wave that had carried his ship, every port that had welcomed him, had first existed in his mind. The universe responds to this level of certainty with unwavering precision. When you truly grasp that you are the author of your reality, doubt becomes as foreign as trying to forget how to read. The old way of living, hoping, wishing, waiting, falls away like autumn leaves, making room for the perpetual spring of conscious creation. Consider Margaret, who once filled notebooks with dreams she thought might never come true. After years of practicing visualization, she noticed something extraordinary. She no longer questioned whether her desires would manifest. The doubt that had once clouded her mind like morning fog had lifted completely. When she envisioned something now, it appeared in her life with such natural ease that it seemed as if reality itself had been waiting for her command. This is the true meaning of transformation. You do not simply learn a technique, you become a different being entirely. The person who once stood at the mercy of circumstances dissolves, replaced by one who shapes circumstances at will. This is not arrogance, it is your natural state of being, the truth that has waited patiently for you to remember it. Sacred practice. Take a moment now to honor the journey that has brought you here. Write a letter to your past self, acknowledging their role in your awakening. Thank them for every doubt that led to certainty, every fear that transformed into faith, every moment of confusion that guided you toward clarity. Let them know that their seeking was not in vain. It led to this moment of mastery, where creation flows through you as naturally as breath. Speak to them with the tender compassion of one who understands the path they walked. Express gratitude for their persistence through the dark nights of uncertainty, for their courage to question what others accepted blindly, for their unwavering commitment to uncovering deeper truths. Recognize how each step they took, even those that seemed to lead nowhere, was essential in forging the being you have become. This letter is more than mere words on paper. It is a sacred bridge between who you were and who you are, an acknowledgement that transformation is not just about the destination, but about honoring every step of the journey that brought you here. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. In these chapters you have uncovered what the ancient masters knew, that reality flows from within. Like a dreamer who becomes aware they are dreaming, you have awakened to your role as the architect of your existence. This knowledge, once realized, cannot be forgotten or unlearned. The veil between thought and manifestation has lifted, revealing the sacred truth that has always existed. The world does not happen to you, it happens through you. Each visualization you craft, each belief you hold steadfast, each moment of unwavering faith shapes the very fabric of your reality. Think of how far you have come. Where once you might have dismissed the power of visualization as mere fantasy, you now understand it as the foundational force of creation. Where you once waited for circumstances to change, you now command them with the authority of one who knows their true power. This awakening is not the end of your journey. It is merely the first light of dawn. As you step into this new awareness, you will find that your ability to manifest grows stronger with each passing day. The gap between thought and manifestation will continue to shrink until they become one seamless flow of creation. Remember, every master was once a beginner. Even now, as you hold this profound understanding, there are depths of power within you yet to be explored. Each visualization you practice, each belief you strengthen, each reality you shape becomes a stepping stone to even greater mastery. The universe awaits your commands with infinite patience and perfect responsiveness. It does not question your worthiness or doubt your ability. It simply responds to your knowing. As you continue to visualize with clarity, believe with certainty, and live from the state of your desired reality, you will witness the world transforming around you with increasing speed and precision. This power you have awakened to is not something external that you must reach for. It is your natural state of being. You are remembering what you have always known, returning to the truth that has waited lifetimes for you to recognize it. Let every doubt that arises strengthen your resolve. Let every manifestation that unfolds remind you of your innate power. Let every moment be an opportunity to deepen your understanding of this sacred art of conscious creation. The world you see around you now is just the beginning. As you continue to master these principles, reality will bend to your will with such natural ease that manifestation becomes as automatic as breathing. This is not the end of your journey. It is the first step into a life where miracles are your daily bread, where dreams manifest with divine timing, and where you stand fully in your power as a conscious creator. Keep visualizing, keep believing, keep knowing the universe is listening, and through you, it creates worlds. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.